What is up, everyone? We are back. Another night of playoff basketball in the books. Tonight, we probably had one of the worst games of the postseason and one of the best games of the postseason. It is, we're talking about May 10th. So, I'll let you figure out which one is which. But yeah, the Nuggets absolutely smacked the shit out of the Timberwolves to keep their season alive. And the Pacers are in a dog fight with the Knicks and come out on top to also keep their season alive. That Pacers game, wow, just wow. That was awesome. That was one of the most exciting games I have ever watched. And definitely like one of the most exciting in this postseason. I mean, I'm kind of a Pacers fan because I go to Butler. So I can't I was rooting for the Pacers in this one, and it was cool to see them get it done. But yeah, let's hop right into the action. We're gonna start with the boring game first. We're gonna start with the Nuggets Timberwolves fan. You're a Nuggets fan watching this. Sorry, I thought this game was boring. Y'all kicked some butt in this game, but it was not nearly as exciting as the Pacers Knicks game. So let's start with the team that was up 2-0, and it was the biggest game in their franchise's history, the Minnesota Timberwolves. My God. Oh my God. Get out of your ad. My God. They fell flat on their face. They looked like the Timberwolves from 2021 and 2020. Yeah, 2021. The 2020, 2020, 21. God, that is a tongue twister. The 2020, 2021 Minnesota Timberwolves. Like, my God, they were terrible. Not a single player on their team had 20 points. That is terrible. In a playoff game, someone's got to step up, right? And if you're going to blame anyone for not stepping up, I'm sorry. You got to blame my guy, Anthony Edwards. Yes, he was 8 for 15. And yes, he shot the ball okay. And he had the most points out of anyone. But like, they needed someone to step up. And Anthony Edwards just couldn't do that. To be fair, none of the role players really stepped up either. So like he was throwing some passes, some good passes, and these dudes were just not hitting it. Like McLaughlin, I'm sorry, this guy cannot play any more minutes. He was terrible. 0 for 3, like this guy was an automatic brick when he was in. This is one of the guys that was like, come on. When it was in the third quarter, there was that point when Denver just like couldn't hit a shot and Minnesota had it down to like 20. It was like they were giving it to McLaughlin and he was just chucking up bricks. So Anthony Edwards wasn't great, but the role players weren't great either. Let's get into some other guys. Mike Conley, inefficient, 3 turnovers. Ant had 5 turnovers as well. So Ant had some pretty bad turnovers as well. So like, but just Mike Conley was not good tonight. No one on the team was good tonight. Karl-Anthony Towns, he got going early. He hit some threes. I thought he was going to be cooking, but they never really went back to him. He only shot the ball 7 times. Like, come on, Cat. We got to get more looks for Cat, especially if he starts off hot like he did. He hit 2 early threes. Oh my God, these ads need to stop. Yeah, he was cooking early and they just didn't go to him. That's just bad coaching and bad on the players for not seeing him cooking early and not going with them. Then we got Rudy Gobert. I'm gonna say it. This guy looked a little bit overrated in this game. This guy, he's been criticized for his defense in the playoffs, and I see why. This guy can only guard the rim. Yes, he is an elite rim protector, but this guy is like, maybe he's not this bad, but he's like Trae Young everywhere that's not deep in the paint. He just can't guard for shit. He'll be put in the blender sometimes, or like he'll miss an assignment. Like this dude cannot guard anything that is not at the rim. Like, come on, Rudy, step it up. Like he had no blocks in this game, and oh my God, he only had 4 rebounds. And you're how tall? How tall is your ass, Rudy Gobert? Hold on. Hold on. How fucking tall? He's 7'1" and he only had 4 rebounds. Joel Embiid on a meniscus tear can rebound better than you. Like, my God. I could rebound. If I was 7'1", I could grab 4 rebounds. Watch me grab like none. I'm not exactly a baller. I'll say that. Jaden McDaniels, I mean, Jaden McDaniels was solid. You could tell he was trying, but he was getting the refs were working his ass the whole night. Like foul, foul. That anytime he like slightly touched the dude, it was a foul. But like shout out to the Nuggets for drawing fouls. I mean, the Nuggets were absolutely in their bag tonight. I know some of these bench guys were +7, but this was garbage time. Kyle Anderson, slow mo. It looked like his ass was moving in slow mo out there. Like his ass is his ass was garbage. I mean, literally all these guys were garbage. Even Nas Reed was bad. Like he looked like the 15th man out there. Like he was bad. Like the Timberwolves just couldn't shoot tonight. Like I will like they shot 30.3% from three. That is like really bad. And 43.7% from the field is not great either. So maybe it was just bad shooting for Minnesota, but like they got totally out hustled. It looked like the Boston game all over again, but Minnesota was Boston. All right, enough about Minnesota. I don't know what just happened there, let's be honest. But okay, let's get to the Nuggets. The Nuggets balled out tonight. Jokic, I was saying he was putting up them hard stat lines. And what does he do? He comes and shuts my ass up and he says, "You're just a yapper who don't know ball," because that's what I am. And he shuts my ass up and he has a near triple double and he's +30. Jokic was in his bag tonight. All the MVP candidates, minus Anthony Edwards, in these past few days are looking like MVP candidates. Jokic was in his bag. One of the big keys to the Nuggets winning this game, though, was Jamal Murray started out strong. There was a stat. It was like the first half of these games, he was terrible. Hold on, let me see if stat. Just can find this. First stats. Oh God, I can't type for shit. But actually, let's just not worry about that. But yeah, Jamal Murray has been terrible in first halves in this T-Wolves series. Like this guy was terrible. But tonight, he was on to start the game. They were booing him every time he touched the ball, and he was just drilling stuff. Like, oh my God, he was in his bag. It was cool to see. I fuck with Jamal Murray. And those 2 game winners he had against the Lakers were awesome. And I mean, he was cooking tonight, 2 for 5 from three. Michael Porter Jr., he was also in his bag, shooting 4 for 5 from three. That is fantastic efficiency from that guy. I mean, he was catching it, he was chucking it up, and that shit was nothing but net. Like even Aaron Gordon was shooting well from three night, and this is their worst 3-point shooter by far in their lineup. Let's see what his fucking 3-point percentage this game or this season is. Hold on, let's see. I can't navigate this app. I can't navigate ESPN for shit. So we're gonna go over to Basketball Reference. Shout out to Basketball Reference. All right. Aaron Gordon was shooting this season. He's shooting 29% from three. Like that is bad. And he's definitely the worst shooter on this Nuggets starting five. And he balled out tonight. He was shooting 3 for 4. I mean, like he's making cuts too. Jokic was lobbing it up to him. Jokic was in his bag. When Jokic was in his bag, he was making everyone better tonight. And Aaron Gordon was one of those people. He was +18. Shout out to Aaron Gordon for actually hitting his shot, his 3-point shots tonight, because that was impressive. KCP, good role player, doing his thing tonight. Had 6 free throws. That's more than Jokic. That's insane. I'm not gonna lie. But he was in his bag tonight. I mean, even I know it doesn't really say, like, I know like if you look at the points, it's like Christian Brown didn't he only had like 5 points, so it's like what did he really do? I just felt like he was bringing the effort tonight. I mean, everyone on the Nuggets was bringing effort tonight. You got to give credit to these Nuggets. Like their backs were against the wall, and they took out the belt and they whooped Minnesota's ass. So it'd be exciting to see what happens in the next game. But that was one of the most boring games. Unless you were a Nuggets fan, you were loving every second of that. That was one of the most boring games in the postseason. Now, let's get to one of the best games in the postseason. Knicks, Pacers. So I was on record saying that I think even with Anunoby hurt, I thought the Knicks were still going to win this game. I was wrong. Yes, it was close, but I was wrong. Oh my God. We'll start with the Knicks. So they had they started Precious Achua, which was an interesting decision to say the least. I mean, he had like 5 points. I mean, what are you going to expect out of Precious Achua? Like, he's just a guy. Unless he plays the Sixers, he turns into Ray Allen in the corner. But Precious Achua is just a guy. Like, sure, he can just kind of shoot the three, but he didn't even take a three tonight. He was not in his bag. Isaiah Hartenstein, he only shot the ball 4 times and he only had 8 rebounds. For Hartenstein standards, that's like pretty low. Brunson, you could tell he was hurt in this game, but that didn't stop him from hitting some clutch shots down the stretch. That step back three to tie the game, that was wet. That shit was money. Like, oh my God, that was insane. I will say with Brunson, he was flopping like a fish late in this game, though. Like 9 seconds to go, and you try to draw the foul instead of actually shoot the ball. Like, come on, bro. Knicks fans were getting on Embiid for flopping like a fish. This guy's flopping too. So like, zip it. Like, come on now. Brunson was flopping like a fish, but he's still a baller. I respect the hell out of Brunson. Like he was balling in this game. He's just hurt, and that's tough. That's rough for the Knicks. Like that's really gonna hurt their chances against the Pacers. It's gonna make it a lot harder, and it's gonna hurt them against Boston. Josh Hart, he played 43 minutes. He was he was okay offensively, but we know where this guy we know what this guy's specialty is. And I think you can see it right here. 18 rebounds. That is insane for a guy that is, I believe he's 6'4". Yeah, he's 6'4". That is insane for a guy who is 6'4". 18 rebounds. Granted, he didn't have any offensive rebounds, but like 18, he got more rebounds than Hartenstein. Hartenstein is 7 foot. Okay, so that's a nice like I can't do math. Hold on. That's like a nice 8-inch difference. You got Precious Achua. Granted, he only played 22 minutes, but he is 6'8". That's a 4-inch difference. So you have Hart grabbing more rebound. You have Hart grabbing more rebounds than these two guys combined. You have Hart grabbing more rebounds than the rest of the starting five combined. Hold on, let me do some math. So that's they have 14, that's 17, 19, 23. So he grabbed 18 compared to 23 for the rest of the team. That's fucking insane. I almost forgot someone, and that would have been pretty bad. I'm just gonna look like a guy who truly doesn't know ball. I mean, I don't know ball that well, but like Dante DiVincenzo, where would the Knicks have been without this guy? 35? This cracker was running all over the place, just chucking the rock up and drilling it. Like 7-11, like come on now. He was in his bag. I mean, granted, in the fourth quarter, you could tell he was getting a little tired because he wasn't hitting the shots he was hitting in the second and the third. Second and third, DiVincenzo was balling. Like he was in his bag tonight. You can't blame this loss on DiVincenzo. Like, come on now. This dude was insane. Then you have Deuce McBride. He had a good game off the bench. And shout out Alec Burks. This dude was literally a corpse. Like, I mean, he wasn't doing anything this series. And then, like, they call him off the bench. They pull him out the grave, and he comes and drops 14. Granted, he was a -3, but, like, that's not bad for a bench guy. Like, he was a Sixers legend. So shout out Sixers legend Alec Burks. So yeah, I mean, I would say with the Knicks, it just came down. They couldn't stop. They couldn't get stopped. And actually, no, they could get a stop late in the game. They just they couldn't they couldn't buy a bucket in the fourth quarter. They only scored 16. I don't know how much of that is Pacers defense because let's be honest, Pacers out of all the teams left in the playoffs, they probably have like the worst defense out of all of them. But the Knicks just couldn't buy a basket. They were praying on DiVincenzo. They were praying for DiVincenzo, and by the fourth he was gassed, and they just couldn't get it done. So on to the victors. The Indiana Pacers. Siakam returns to being Siakam. 26. I mean, this is a great Siakam game. He had that. He had some clutch and ones down the stretch. Like Siakam was in his bag. He did miss a couple He did miss two free throws though. I remember one of those. It was like, come on, Siakam, you can't be missing that. But Siakam was in his bag tonight. He needed to be in his bag, and he delivered. Aaron Neesmith giving you 10. That's solid. I mean, he was plus 20. Aaron Neesmith's always just a dog. It's just a matter of does he produce or not. And tonight he was solid. Like he produced better than the bench guys. I remember I think it was game one or game two, he was not good. And Toppin went and dropped like 20. And it was like, why is Neesmith in over like Toppin? But Miles Turner, another good game out of Miles Turner. He was in his bag. He was awful last game. And he bounced back well. 10 rebounds. That's good for Miles Turner because Miles Turner's like, I believe he's 6'11", and he is not a good rebounder, like at all. But like 10 rebounds, you can't complain when Miles Turner gets 10 rebounds. We'll get to this guy in a second. But Tyrese Halliburton, he was in his bag tonight. He's dropping 35, tied for game high with DiVincenzo. I mean, Halliburton was cooking, man. I know he shot 6 for 16 from three, but like some of those threes were fucking nice, dude. I mean, he was dishing the rock, 7 assists, only 2 turnovers. Okay. Tyrese Halliburton had a good game. He was good. I mean, I wish he did more down the stretch though. Like he was getting a little passive at the end of this game. I know he shot the three before the big one, but like this dude was being passive at the end of the game, and it's like, come on, dude, you got 35. Close this game out and be the stud we know you can be. So Halliburton, overall though, Halliburton was in his bag. The Pacers would not have won this game if it weren't for Halliburton balling out. But you know who truly won them the game? Andrew fucking Nembhard, bro. This guy, it was like with 5 minutes left in the game, they show this stat. This dude had like 0 points and 5 fouls. I was saying, why the fuck is this guy in the game? They need to take his ass out. Proving that Rick Carlisle knows more about ball than I do. But my God, this guy has got balls of steel. Like that three, bang! Shout out Mike Breen for absolutely crushing the broadcast tonight. But that bang, that was insane, dude. Like I was like, when I was watching the game with my parents and they were like, they're not scoring here. When Halliburton was just dribbling the ball and he passes to Nembhard with like 3 seconds. And then Nembhard starts backing up. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He chucks up a three from like deep. I'm like, oh my God, is this thing even gonna hit rim? Splash, nothing but net. He's in his bag. Andrew Nembhard, like he's done it before. Just ask the Lakers fans. Like, oh my God, what a fucking shot. I don't think anyone thought it was going in. I don't even think Nembhard thought it was going in. And he just fucking swished it. Like, he's him, bro. Like, holy shit. Now onto the bench. I mean, the bench was not great. You look at these plus minuses, they were all minus. Shout out Ben Shepherd for only being -3, though. Like, Ben Shepherd's got some good defense, but like the bench guys were not it tonight. Like, Pacers bench got to do better if they want to win the series. Like, you need it. I know TJ McConnell's been a dog the past 2 games. So I mean he gets a free pass. So and it's like TJ McConnell is the dog on this team. Like he is their Josh Hart type player. Like I thought he was solid though in the second quarter, but then he just kind of didn't have it later in the game. Like I don't know. It was not a good TJ McConnell game, and that's unfortunate because I love TJ McConnell. Shout out former Sixer legend TJ McConnell. We had some Sixer legends in this game. We had Alec Burks and TJ McConnell. I mean, look at this guy on the bench here with the Knicks, Shake Milton. Imagine, Sixers fans, imagine if the Knicks played Shake Milton instead of Alec Burks. They would have lost by like 20 or 30, bro. Like, I know Alec Burks was -3, but Shake Milton would be like a -20 because he is just pathetic. I know some Sixers fans love Shake Milton, but that couldn't be me. So yeah, I mean that was great. Those games, that That Timberwolves game was kind of ass, but that Pacers Knicks game, I wish that game was second, man. I was so hype after that game. That game was just fun to watch. Even if like the Knicks won it, it would be like it would still be a good game. It wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it wouldn't take away anything. But yeah, going forward. So who plays next? Hold on, let me look. Let me look. I'm unorganized. My fault, y'all. Let's see. So Saturday, it's the Thunder and Mavs and the Celtics and Cavs again. So if I had to make my predictions, I think I think Dallas is going to take. I think Dallas is taking their first game back at home. I think they'll go up 2-1 and they're going to put the pressure on the Thunder. Luka's going to ball out, and I think Kyrie's going to have a bounce back game. I think Kyrie, after last game, Kyrie's going to be in his bag because they're going to be swarming Luka. Maybe Luka won't ball out as much, but Kyrie is. I think Kyrie's bouncing back next game because they're gonna put the torture chamber on Luka, and they'll probably have like Jay Will or someone. No, J Dub. They'll have J Dub double Luka, so that'll leave some opportunities for Kai. I think Kyrie's gonna ball, and then you have Celtics Cavs. I know the Cavs just blew out the Celtics in TD, but like the Celtics are too damn good. Like I still think the Celtics are gonna win and put the pressure back on Cleveland and go up 2-1 and practically make Cleveland fight for their season in game 4. So yeah, I mean, those games are gonna be good. I'm excited for them. But my God, that Pacers Knicks game, whew, that was vintage basketball right there. Like, oh my God, that was so fire. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm just a yapper who don't know ball. Peace.